Welcome to Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered, the podcast for anyone out here doing their best to grow, heal, and not totally lose it in the process. I'm your host, Brennan, and if you ever felt like the only adult still figuring it out, don't worry, you're not alone. This is the place for you. Let's stop pretending and start talking. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered. This is the second podcast episode in the new year, so welcome to 2026. I hope everybody is off to a fantastic start and they're already crushing their dreams and goals in 2026, and you have that momentum of the new year behind you. If you're somebody who has noticed that you have a trend in your relationships where you constantly feel like you're alone or you're repeating some of the same patterns and you keep pushing people away, this episode is for you. Have you ever found yourself in a relationship where you guys have this amazing, strong chemistry and you have so much fun together, you get lost in time when you're together, there's so much intimacy and connection, everything's going great, but something happens. Maybe it's small, maybe in your mind it's big, and suddenly you feel this overwhelming urge to pick a fight. Or maybe you want to pull away. And you know deep down inside you want this connection, you enjoy being with this person, you want to stay around there, but there's like this mysterious force that just pushes you away. And you can't explain it, and it just happens almost as if it's on autopilot. Next thing you know, you're alone again, and you ask yourself, why do I always end up alone? If this sounds like you, I want you to stick around, because don't worry. The real reason is not because you're broken or you're malfunctioning. It's actually got to do with your belief system that's wired into your subconscious. And today, we're going to unpack how this unspoken wound creates self-sabotage and how you can start to heal that wound today. This pattern that keeps happening, this isn't a flaw in your personality, and like I just said, it doesn't mean that you're broken. It's a wall built from one core belief. One belief that says, I am unworthy of love. I am not worthy of the love that I am receiving. And this belief runs in the background, and it's like this piece of software in your computer, in your brain, that's just constantly running and searching for threats. And somewhere in your past, your nervous system learned that getting close, it means danger. That vulnerability just leads to pain and discomfort and you being hurt in some way. So now, the moment that things get close and real intimacy is there, all these alarm bells go off, wham, 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 and you push people away. It's not because you want to, but because your subconscious is trying to protect you from the pain that it thinks is coming. Even though the pain isn't real, there's no present threat that the pain is going to occur. There's no logical evidence that it's about to happen. Your subconscious thinks that it is. So it goes into this pattern that it runs. And it's still so fascinating to me that so many of us go through our lives being driven mostly by our subconscious mind, and how many of us have no clue that it's occurring. This subconscious belief, it shows up in your behavior in a few ways. The first way is this jealousy and withdrawal scenario, where you feel unworthy, someone loving you, it feels like a mistake, or that you don't deserve it, or that it's not right. And so you might withdraw from that affection, or you become hyper vigilant and you start searching for signs that they're going to leave you. And this constant suspicion, it can activate your brain to start finding things, and then it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, and it eventually just pushes the other person away. And another thing is protection and defensiveness. So criticism, sometimes it can feel like it's personal, like maybe the person's attacking you, and it ends up confirming your own insecurities. So to protect yourself, you could get really reactive over a small comment, and then you end up projecting your fears onto this other person, and you start to accuse them of things, and it actually helps you believe stuff about yourself. And this makes real emotional intimacy almost impossible. Or if you do have it, and this keeps reoccurring, it becomes this toxic level of intimacy. And then another thing is this quest for validation. And you constantly need your partner to consistently reassure you that you're loved and you won't be abandoned. They're not going to leave you. Everything's okay. But if you just zoom out for a second and think about that, how draining is that for the other person? Even though they might not admit it, or they might not even say it, or maybe the person isn't even aware of it, that it's occurring. It is very draining for us to put the burden on someone else to validate us and make us feel worthy, because no amount of external praise can heal this internal wound. And it's not that person's responsibility to heal you. We need to own our own healing journey. Now, this is the part that I really need you to hear. These patterns, they're not enough proof that you are unlovable. They are just outdated programs that are trying to protect you from something that isn't even hurting you at this point. They just kick on an overdrive and they start to run. And your brain has developed these strategies to keep you safe from these past pain. Pushing someone away felt safer than possibly being abandoned and left alone. These are defense mechanisms that have outlived their usefulness. And they were built to protect a wounded child, but now they're imprisoning this adult person who deserves real love and intimacy. And understanding this, it allows you to stop shaming yourself and destroying these relationships over and over and over again. The question becomes, how do we build a real foundation of self-worth? To do that, it's a consistent daily practice. And here are a few steps that you can take to do that today. The first one you want to do is become the monitor of your mind. The monitor of your mind. Pay attention to the negative stories that you tell yourself. When you get into a relationship and you feel like you're not worthy and you think of something like, they're going to get bored of me, they won't think I'm attractive enough, this person's going to see that I'm anxious, this person's going to understand and start to hear some of the skeletons that I have in my closet, they're going to understand this about me. All these things that we think are fears, we need to observe these thoughts without judgment. And when you become the watcher, you realize, I am not this thought. I am the one hearing it. And that simple switch creates space and allows you in that moment to take back power. And if you've ever listened to Eckhart Tolle, you hear him talk about how you can dip your toe in the stream of thought and go where it takes you. But what we're doing is we're stopping the stream of thought. We're not dipping our toe in there. We're actually looking at the stream of thought and we're allowing us to judge it. And that's a very powerful place to be. The next thing is to challenge your inner critic, but do it with compassion and self-love. So when a negative thought appears, don't fight it. Just instead respond with kindness. Acknowledge the part of you that's scared and say, look, I get why you're scared. You're just trying to protect us, but this isn't happening anymore. This person has shown no evidence that this is what they plan to do. And that self-compassion, it begins to heal the wound that's causing this belief about yourself. And then the final thing is to take small risk. Take small risk. So self-worth is built through action. It's built through small daily choices. So you got to give your brain evidence. I talked about this on a previous episode, is how your brain needs evidence. It needs positive reinforcement. And this could be as small as accepting a compliment by saying thank you. If compliments are something that's uncomfortable for you, maybe saying thank you. Or maybe it's doing something else in the relationship that pushes you outside of your comfort zone that you know the risk reward is very low. It's very low risk and a very high reward. It gives that validation to our brain. And each of those small wins, it rewrites this core belief from I'm not worthy to maybe it's safe for me to be loved. Maybe I'm deserving of the love that I. So I hope those are helpful and maybe you can find some value out of those. I think the path from loneliness to connection is really an opportunity for all of us to look inward, because your loneliness, it's just a symptom of this old wound that's running your life from behind the scenes, from behind the shadows, from that subconscious belief system. And by recognizing these patterns and treating yourself with self-love and compassion, and you build faith in your own value. True, lasting love, it doesn't find you when you find the right person or when you find, quote unquote, the one. It finds you when you become the right person for yourself. The love you're looking for is possible and it's already there. And it begins when you decide that you are and have always been worthy of that love. So guys, I will end there. My name is Brennan. This is Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered. Life is so much better when we stop pretending and we start talking. I will catch you next time. Take care.